God created man. Sam Colt made them all equal. Let's face it. While there may be an inherent spark of the divine in all of us, there's something to recognize there in the intrinsic value of another human being. That doesn't mean that a 5-foot-tall, 90-pound woman who's 90 years old is going to be able to physically resist someone who's 6'5", 250 pounds of sheer muscle and is 25 years old. That's not a very fair fight. And likewise, taking out a less of the extreme, 5-on-1 of a physical force encounter, maybe that one will win. Maybe they're the Chuck Norris or whoever. But I'm betting on that 5, and I'll win a lot of money if I keep doing that every time, right? You get the idea here. And that's before we start talking about improvised weapons and so forth. So what Dr. Peterson is talking about, going back to the quote, I think the right to bear arms is one of the markers of a free society. Because if a government does not trust people, then you start to see that as withdrawing and monopolizing that use of force. So that's the reason why, and I've called it that way before, even before I've seen this comment. I've said that in videos over the years, that one of the indices for the freedom of society, aside from speech, is also the accessibility to arms. And then he goes on to say, I don't think it's reasonable that only the police and the army should be allowed to be dangerous. Right. Because if citizens are not allowed to be dangerous, that means that we have to rely on the government outsourced to all of our protection against criminals, and we're just gambling that they'll never turn tyrannical.